The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have a big problem through 4 weeks, and if it doesn't change soon, it may get worse. Shout out to Sleeper, by the way, more on them a little bit later on in this video. Folks, we are back with the film study, and I felt like this was such an important one to make because it's a very simple issue. The Bucs are dealing with blocked punts. I know that this is something that a lot of people did not expect to be an issue going into the 2025 season. I'm sure nobody even really thought about it, but through 4 weeks of the regular season now, the Bucs have 2 blocked punts and a blocked field goal. Now, we talked about the blocked field goal in a separate video, but we haven't talked about the blocked punts yet. And they had one in week number 2 versus the Houston Texans and one yesterday against the Philadelphia Eagles. It's absolutely inexcusable in my opinion. We're going to be taking a look at both today and dive a little bit deeper into what might be going on here in terms of this issue. Let's go ahead and start off with the most recent one, the Philadelphia Eagles game, okay? I'm going to slow it down so we can all get a very proper look at what is going on in terms of this punt coverage. So right now on your screen, you have pretty much the same group of guys that was out there for the Texans blocked punt. In fact, it is the same group of guys. You've got John Bullock here on your left. Ryan Miller is back there, Marquise Watts, Anthony Nelson, Evan Decker's your long snapper, Payne Durham, Deion Jones, Sean Tucker, and Riley Dixon. A lot of these guys are basically bottom of the roster types of guys in terms of their position groups, which is why they're out here on special teams. But if we take a look at the Philadelphia Eagles lineup here, you've got 3 guys right here, you've got 4 guys right here, and somebody right over here. Now already, this is a smidge of a mismatch here on the right side. You got 5 guys going up against 3 over here on this right side. So advantage this side over here. Now, I don't necessarily understand the in-depth details of special teams and whatnot, but in my opinion, shouldn't Ryan Miller be over here? Again, that might not be how this punt coverage is designed and whatnot, so take that with a grain of salt. But again, I'm not an X's and O's expert, but Riley Dixon is going to get ready for the punt here, okay? It's a bit of a wobbly snap, right? And we're looking, and this is the situation that happens here. You have this scenario where Evan Deckers is the one who gives up the blocked punt, so to speak, and immediately goes to Sidney Brown, and that is just the situation. So in this circumstance, Evan Deckers has to get that ball off and then begin to engage in his block, because if you look, number 36 of the Eagles just blows right past him. Now, Ryan Miller, a lot of people may be saying, why is he not helping? Well, I guess that is why he was over there on that left side, because Sidney Brown was going to move over from the right to the left there. Miller is able to pick him up. But that was really on Evan Deckers in his execution. A lot of people are going to point out to the punting how long Riley Dixon is holding on to the ball before he punts it. That very well may be another issue as well. Before we dive deeper into it, though, everybody, I want to say shout out to Sleeper, the proud sponsor of this channel. If you guys do use the code MrBucs, you will get a $100 deposit match up to $100. Again, that is whenever you use the code MrBucs. Guys, download the #1 sports app today and enjoy football the way it was meant to be. That is together. So, again, whenever we take a look at this initial blocked punt, it very well seems like the big issue here is that the guy just got past Evan Deckers. Point blank, simple as that. Deckers snaps it, isn't necessarily ready to start blocking right away. 36 just blows right past him, and that is the case there. I am curious as to how long, he is holding on to the football, that being Riley Dixon, just to dive into that a little bit deeper. So let's see if we can gauge it. Ball snapped, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1. Yeah, 2 to 3 seconds, about 3 seconds, let's say. That's my very rudimentary counting system, by the way. Thankfully, I can count a little bit. But is Riley Dixon holding on to the ball too long? maybe that's part of it. Evan Deckers probably needs to engage in that block as well. That is, certainly part of that as well, because he was the one who let the man get through that ended up blocking that punt. Now let's take a look at the other one here with the Houston Texans, because this was another blocked punt that unfortunately happened here. So let's see, 1,000, 2, 1,003. So again, the same time here, basically, in terms of Dixon holding on to that football. Now, we're going to slow this down again. As you guys can see, actually, they did change this one up a little bit. So Marquise Watts is now over on the right-hand side. Sean Tucker is also on the right-hand side. Payne Durham's still there. Evan Deckers is still there. Keefe is there, by the way. 57? Who is 57 for the Bucs? I'm not sure who 57 is. It's not Marquise Watts. I know that. Hold on, and then at 28, isn't that, or 26, I believe that's Kayvon Merriweather. Ryan Miller is still back there as well. I need to figure out who number 57 is. Is it, it's not Deion Jones. Deion Jones is 45. It's John Bullock. Okay, it did not look like John Bullock, but I guess that's Bullock, I suppose? Okay, well, we're going to slow this down a little bit so we can dive deeper into this second blocked punt as well and figure out how it was blocked. So again, you look, it's 4v4 right over here on the left-hand side of the punt, okay? If you are Riley Dixon. And on the right-hand side, it's 4v3, okay? Obviously advantage to the right-hand side attacking the punt here. So let's see what happens on this play. The ball is snapped. Miller is trying to get... Now, what Miller should have been doing is Miller should have been getting over to block number 43, okay? Or in this scenario, you should have had Sean Tucker moving over and trying to block the guy on the edge as well as something that should have possibly happened. So I don't know if this fully relies on the responsibility of Sean Tucker or Ryan Miller, but I am of the belief that one of those two guys messed up in this situation, okay? Because Ryan Miller is kind of back there as that final blocker type deal. Over here, it's completely blocked. Evan Deckers holds up. Keefe's got his block on 33. Bullock is there. Kayvon Merriweather is there. Like everybody's doing good in that situation. You see this pile of 3v3, right? 3v3. And I see what Ryan Miller was trying to do. He's like, 35's overwhelming my guy. I need to help. But you left 43 completely wide open there. So it's just bad special teams execution in those two types of scenarios. I don't know if that is the way that it is coached up. I don't know if that was just a player decision there, right? But in these two scenarios, you have Evan Deckers definitely responsible for the blocked punt in the Philadelphia Eagles game, and probably Riley Dixon holding onto the ball for a little bit too long. In the case of this one, Dixon might be holding onto the ball a little bit too long yet again, but also either Ryan Miller or Sean Tucker need to block that final guy on the edge there. Probably Ryan Miller's responsibility, in my opinion. And it's inexcusable. It's inexcusable, by the way, right? This special teams execution, because all the guys that I just mentioned, right, are on the bottom of this roster because of their special teams play. We've heard Todd Bowles mention it before. We've heard a lot of people mention it before. These guys that are in the bottom of their position groups are going to be playing primarily special teams, okay? And if we are not able to get the execution done in regards to these plays that should be going off without a hitch, then what are we doing, right? I think that this falls on, player execution and coaching, a mix of both of these things, right? And I hope that Thomas McGaughey, the special teams coordinator, is looking at the film with Evan Deckers, with Ryan Miller, Sean Tucker, Riley Dixon, especially, and saying, we need to do better. We need to do better, because we talked about it after the Houston Texans game, and we're talking about it now after this Philadelphia Eagles game. This is turning into a situation of, hey, you can still come back and win these types of games, to, oh, this is a big factor in us losing these games. And that's absolutely inexcusable, in my opinion. What are your guys' thoughts and opinions about these blocked punts? Let me know down in the comments section below. I'd love to hear it. One more shout out to Sleeper for being the proud sponsor of this channel. It is greatly, greatly appreciated. As always, guys, I'll see you all in the next video or the next live stream. But until then, and as always, guys, goodbye for now, and go Bucs.